I don't love my top 10. I was up early in the morning writing it. If I could redo it, I would. In fact, I may go ahead and adjust it on the fly here with all of you. I think I put Ohio State at 2. I think Michigan should be at 2 because Michigan has been better than Ohio State of late. So I would flip those right now. I'd say Georgia's 1. Ohio State I have at 2. I would flip it. I think Michigan was better this weekend. Ohio State was not good at all against Northwestern. I would put Ohio State 3, TCU 4. I'll bump TCU up, although they got a tough game against Texas. Drop Tennessee to 5. I didn't think Tennessee played well at all. Oregon at 6. I've got SC and UCLA, LSU, and Ole Miss rounding out my top 10. Remember, USC and UCLA play here in 2 weeks. And then I've got LSU at 9, Ole Miss at 10. My SEC power rankings, somewhat confident in these. I feel like we know the 5 best teams in the SEC. I feel like the middle tier is kind of difficult. The bottom, not that difficult. I've got Georgia as the best team in the SEC, clearly. Tennessee, second best. Then LSU at 3rd. Ole Miss, 4. Alabama at 5. We'll see what happens in that Ole Miss-Bama game going on this weekend. Again, I'll be down in Oxford. Kentucky, I've got at 6, although you can argue about these teams a lot. I've got Mississippi State at 7, South Carolina at 8. South Carolina beat Kentucky, but they did it with Will Levis out. I don't know how you factor that in. I've got Florida at 9. Florida went on the road and beat A&M this weekend. Nice win. Anthony Richardson played really well. Arkansas, I've got at 10. Missouri, I've got the Tigers at 11. Texas A&M 12, Auburn 13, and the worst team in the SEC, I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, Vanderbilt. If you look at the larger college football playoff picture, to me, this is not very complicated right now. Georgia is probably going to be your 1. Good chance they go 13-0. Your 2 will probably be either Ohio State or Michigan. Whoever wins the Big Ten will be your 2 seed. I would bet quite a lot. All right. So 1 seed, Georgia, 2 seed, likely to be Ohio State, Michigan. 3 and 4 in the wake of Alabama's loss, in the wake of Clemson's loss, and in the wake of, I think, TCU likely to lose this weekend. I think 3 and 4 are going to be 1-loss teams. So there are a lot of 1-loss teams that you could discuss as potential 3rd and 4th playoff teams. And certainly the Pac-12 with USC, UCLA, and Oregon all with 1 loss is in that mix. TCU, certainly still undefeated, but in that mix. Tennessee, maybe Ole Miss. We'll see what happens with the ACC champ. Big 12 champ if it's TCU. So 3rd and 4th going to be 1-loss teams. It's going to be intriguing, I believe, to see exactly who those teams end up being. Now, Vegas, the national championship odds, can give you some sense of how Vegas would break all this down. Georgia, they've got as the odds-on favorite at -120. Ohio State plus 250. Then Michigan 8-1. Remember, Michigan and Ohio State play. Tennessee 18-1. And I said earlier in the show here, if Tennessee wins out and goes 11-1, there is a very high probability that the Vols are in the playoff. Oregon 25-1. Then we've got TCU, USC, LSU, Bama all at 50-1. North Carolina 60, Clemson 80, Ole Miss 80-1. And then you've got Utah and UCLA at 100-1. So if I were predicting right now, I would say Georgia's your 1. I still think Ohio State beats Michigan at home. And then I would go with Tennessee as your 3, and then a battle between 1-loss Michigan and Oregon, TCU, USC. We'll see how all that shakes out. That would be my prediction. Maybe I'd slide Oregon in at 4. I don't think Oregon could be seated higher than Tennessee because Oregon lost 49-3 to Georgia already, which is yet another evidence Georgia's 2 best wins over Tennessee and Oregon are head and shoulders above every other undefeated team in terms of their overall performance.